Let's break the mold and stop waiting for the other shoe to drop. Welcome to Stanley on 7. We're here until it's here.
And welcome back. It's Stanley on 7th, your favorite Wild podcast, a Pull Tab Sports production. I'm Ryan Carter with a very calm and happy John King. And why is that? Because the Wild are 9-0-1 in their last 10. We have the Flower, the 7th Street Savages, Kirill Kaprizov, who now has the points record in a Minnesota Wild sweater. All is good at Stanley on 7th. John, how are you feeling this morning?
I feel great, Ryan. I feel like I've drawn a bath and am listening to a CD from Starbucks as I enjoy another week of Wild victories. Are you doing well, my friend and co-host?
That's good that you're feeling good. No, I'm a little bit
I
rattled.
can't do that too long. It would be too hard.
I'm a little bit rattled. We've got the new step and repeat behind us, which looks pretty solid. But I got a text from you early this morning. Turning me into your errand boy. 7:30, you're on your way to record the podcast, which is 90 minutes early, and you had swung by Target and didn't put in enough effort to look for the command strips to hold it up. So you text me and just say, hey, get some command strips on your way in.
Okay.
So now I'm running around. I'm all hot and sweaty.
I stopped at Target and they didn't have them.
Did you look?
I looked. I went to the business area.
How come you looked down and to the left when I asked you that? Are you lying to me?
I swear to God, I went to Target.
Did you look for them?
I bought these hockey cards.
That's what I'm saying.
So I went in, I looked for them. They didn't have them. I actually saw some empty SKUs. That's a term for like when you have inventory of items. They had empty SKUs that said like command hooks and they were gone. So I needed you to help me. And I was already coming down here. I had to do a call. Gabe let me into the place early, and so I couldn't get him. So I just was asking you to pick me up. It's like when my skate blade breaks, I needed you to pull me like Dumba to the bench.
No, it is great. It is great. I came in here, your legs were crossed. You were leaning back, sipping your coffee, throwing your fingers through your hair. Meanwhile, I'm wiping sweat off my brow, but it's okay. It's okay. We got the command strips and everything looks good behind me. So
it does.
Getting that off my chest, we're all good. So what kind of cards do you pick up?
So this is, I actually like hockey cards, which is probably not surprising to you, but this is Upper Deck, and typically Series 1 comes out in like October, but there's been some supply chain issues. This is literally the first time I've seen these cards have not come out until now, April. So I don't know when exactly Series 2 comes out, if Series 1 just came out in April. But there could be a Trevor Zegras in here. That's over $100.
Oh.
Cole Caulfield, over $100. Two most valuable players, American-born. Not from Minnesota, but American-born players this year.
How do you know how much those are?
Internet. eBay.
Remember the old Beckett magazine?
Yep, the Beckett price guide.
Yeah.
Still exists.
Does it?
Yeah. Pretty cool. Were you into sports cards?
I was a little bit. What was the name of the card shop there? Maybe you wouldn't know because you grew up in
Schinders.
Schinders, yeah.
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 That
right by
closed.
Cup and Cone and White Bear. Yeah.
Oh, no. That was something else. Was that Boomers ball cards?
I don't remember, but I remember Schinders.
Hey, I had a question. When you're an NHLer and you do a Upper Deck makes cards from you, do you get a box with like 100 of your cards?
I think at the end of the year, so the Players Association kind of deals with all of that, and at the end of the year, you'll just get like in your stall, the player rep will get a bunch of cards sent to you. At least this is how it used to be. And you'll just have like a rubber binder with your cards for the year in there. So it would just be of you.
One of each?
No, like a lot of each.
So if you're like Crosby or something and your rookie cards worth a ton of money, he has a box of like 100 of his rookie cards somewhere?
There's a chance, yep.
Wow, that's kind of cool. What was your favorite hockey card of yourself? Did you ever have one that was really legit?
Yeah, there was a couple early on when I played with the Ducks. So another time I was playing in the American League and they come with Ducks jerseys. And I think I had just been sent down or something. So I'd played games, but I was like a young gun kind of.
Yeah, that's the hot card. That's what Zegras. There's only Like it's really hard to get a young gun. See, so you had a young gun.
Yeah.
I'm going to get your young gun.
And they also had these really cool jersey ones. So you'd put the jerseys on and then they'd cut pieces of the jersey out and embed it in the card.
Yeah, those are called like jersey patch cards.
Yes.
Yes.
And those are cool too. Will that come in that pack?
You could get a patch card in here. I don't like the jerseys as much as the young guns. Big young gun guy.
You're a big young gun guy.
If you can pull a Zegras here, I'll be pretty happy.
All right, we'll try to pull a Zegras. But speaking of Zegras, we should get into that because there's been a lot of controversy around the NHL now because one of the NHL's beautiful babies, Trevor Zegras,
he's being hunted.
Yeah. And I talked about this. We talked about this on the podcast early on in the season. Nick Delorier was going to be one of the busiest guys in the NHL following Zegras' first the flip goal. I don't know what we're calling that one, but it wasn't the Michigan.
I think it's called the Zegras.
The Zegras. So the Zegras goal. And if you don't recall it, it's when he was standing behind the net and he flipped it out front to Sonny Milano and it was like a baseball bunt kind of into the net. Creative play, great. But it's one of those things where I think, and you can see it, veteran players take exception to it a little bit, right? And Delorier is going to have to stand up for the young kid so he feels comfortable playing. And he did that. Delorier came to the Wild at the deadline with the most majors in the NHL.
And we left these kids at the bus stop.
Left them at the bus stop.
All alone.
By themselves.
And so for the listeners at home, Zegras has got these hands that are like, it's crazy. He's coming around the net again. The puck is bouncing. And he still picks it up lacrosse style off of a bounce and then throws it in an empty net. The Ducks, I think, won 5-0. And I don't know why they didn't try to kill Zegras himself, but they chose Troy Terry. And the picture I saw of this kid afterwards, it looked like a pit bull got in it. It just started eating his face. So what did this? Is it Beagley or who was the
Beagle? That's what I said. That was my tweet, which I thought would get a lot of love, and it didn't. I said,
I thought it was great.
Turns out Beagle has the bite of a pit bull.
Oh, so you were doing the whole dog thing. I did think that I think Beagle should wear a cone on his head from now on, like those cone of shame.
Cone of shame? That'd be hilarious.
How did he do that? We'll put a picture in the pod here, but how did he do that to Troy Terry's face? What the hell did he do to him? I watched the video. I couldn't see it. It's kind of off camera.
He punched him.
Yeah, but like this dude looks like he got bit.
Yeah, no, I think he just punched him, split him
and
right around the eye.
And the deal that Zegras was so upset about was he kept punching him when it was supposed to be over, kind of like Foligno, like he took liberties. Is that what we believe happened or the kids think happened?
Yeah, no, that's also great. So if you go back and consume all of the content, Zegras is in the hallway of Arizona.
Like, so nervous
about what he's trying to say. And he's trying to call out Beagle for it being a terrible play and that the NHL has to get that out of the game. But he can't talk more than a sentence without looking over his shoulder just in case Beagle's coming, right? It was just a great depiction of what a guy like Delorier does. You don't have to look over your shoulder when you have Delorier on your bench. They didn't have him, and now they get. And it's really not a surprise at all. And people wonder, like, why do you have to have toughness? It's still legal. Like, Beagle can still play in the NHL. Yes, I think you can look around the league. Every single team wants to have a bigger fan base, a more exciting building, a better product, more skilled product on the ice. But when it comes right down to it, the one thing that they want more than anything else is to win. There will be GMs lining up for a guy like Beagle that will punch somebody in the face if they're making plays like that. Now Zegras and Troy Terry are going to second guess the way they come into a scrum in front of the net, right? They're going to second guess making plays like that. Okay, if I do that, I'm going to get punched in my mouth, right? And there's nobody on my bench that's going to say or do anything about it.
You know, I'm watching Narcos season 2, and this is very much gang kind of. I got 5 guys on their knees in front of me. I'm going to shoot one of them to send a message to the other 4. But here's this is a problem for the NHL. I think we're on different sides of this issue.
I think so too.
So Trevor Zegras is an absolute change agent for the NHL. Mm-hmm. He might be able to dribble the damn puck all the way down the ice and score. Like, he may open up some fourth dimension of hockey, okay? If he is destroyed, if the Ducks don't take care of him, he's going to be like Andy Dufresne, in Shawshank. He gets there, he's kind of this bright poet, and then some bad stuff happens in the shower, and then he just doesn't talk much anymore. He doesn't do the things that Andy Dufresne used to do.
Yeah, I'm not following, because Andy Duchesne eventually breaks his way out of there and uses smarts to escape. So are you like his...
It's just like your Beagle pit bull thing.
Okay.
Just let it go. Okay. I don't want someone to take the glimmer in Trevor Zegras' eye away.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna kill someone and be like, you did this. And then he's never gonna do anything again. He's just gonna become like I don't even know, like a regular NHL player.
And I think it's going to be, and he's not the only one that has changed. In
Jack Hughes.
Yeah. Well, now don't get me wrong. He hasn't changed anything yet. That's another thing. You have to earn it, right? He hasn't yet.
You're just still mad about the All-Star game.
He maybe has the ability.
That he's an American-born
He maybe
player.
has the ability to do some things that not a lot of other players do. But do you know who else was like that? Wayne Gretzky. Do you know who Wayne Gretzky played with on his line?
Yari Curry.
And
then that big tough bastard, McSorley.
Oh, there you go. And do you know that they were a package deal wherever they went? Do you know why McSorley played with Wayne Gretzky?
To take care of the great one.
So the great one could be great, right? Zegras can be great, but he has to earn it, and he's not going to do it by himself. He needs help. He needs somebody there. That's the way it is, because it comes down to winning, right? And it is within the rules for me to scare you, for Beagle to hit you, for him to make it hard for you to go to that spot and make you think twice about it. It is legal. And even if he has to sit for 5 minutes, that's okay. He'll do that. So his bench will be cool with that. But now Zegras will be afraid. Now you need somebody. That's why the Wild go out and get somebody like Delorier, Middleton, Foligno. They are now the punchers, right? They are the guys that will make you scared. That's why I love this one, because it's Delorier leaves Anaheim, and this happens instantly. 10 days after the deadline, 10 days after Delorier is no longer on that bench, this happens. It's not going to happen on the Wild bench. People think about the playoffs last year where Vegas was pushing Kirill around and he struggled and he couldn't figure it out. It's not going to happen because of the guys that are on the Wild bench. And you might not like it, and you might love Trevor Zegras and want him to be great. But at the same time, you're about to profit in a big way from the same thing that Delorier brought to the Anaheim Ducks.
The 7th Street Savages are ready for the playoffs. Okay. I'm just saying he's a bright light. I think something really bad might happen to him soon. He may never be the same.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead here and place a bet that Anaheim goes out and they have a really tough guy, and they probably have to spend some pretty big dough on him this summer. Ryan Reeves' salary has just continued to go up and up and up and up and up, right? And never mind his production. It's just what he provides to those young players. Panarin gets put in a headlock last year, slammed into the ice. Washington, I think it was Tom Wilson that did it. New York goes out, trades for Ryan Reeves, right? It's the way it works. The next tough guy and the next way, if it's back. It's back. It's coming back. The tough guys are coming back.
And somebody's pretty happy about it.
Well, it's just the way it is. And now I just like that the Wild are on the front end of it. They're on the front end of that curve.
I like it. Copycat league. We're at least second in line. We're right there.
Setting the trend.
Hey, I was thinking about Boogergate. Okay. So if we all believe that Zuccarello is an awesome teammate for concealing the booger for Hartman, but then we went and showed everyone the booger, does that make us bad teammates? I've been thinking about this. So like what we loved was this guy tries to do him a solid, and then we basically just blasted the booger into the social world. Like, are we like out of the room like that?
I think
See, that just put you in a pretzel, didn't it?
No, it didn't. So I think we are that bad teammate because we're kind of throwing Hartman under the bus. And if our intent was to glorify Zuccarello and how good of a teammate he is, no, we wouldn't be a bad teammate. But I don't think that was the main purpose of. If that were the case, we should have interviewed Zuccarello, right?
I've lost a little sleep over it. Because if this team is all about these little moments of sticking up for each other, pulling the guy to the bench, not touching the puck before it goes into the net, and then we just we were like, booger, see the booger. I don't know. I think we maybe owe the Wild one.
Yeah, I might tend to agree with you a little bit, but we
did Hartman dirty.
No, we asked him.
We put Zuccarello on a pedestal.
Yeah. We asked Hartman.
Maybe that makes it, those cancel each other out, maybe.
But I think we asked Hartman permission during the interview.
Correct.
If we can bring it to light. And he says absolutely 100%.
Yes. Okay.
I think if he says no, that interview maybe stinks. We don't have anything left to talk about. And we say, okay, see you later.
Hey, so you shaved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wanted to. Really? Because you scored 100 goals. Hey, someone pointed out to me that the great moment was when he did Kirill voice. When he goes, when Zuccarello was like, pass the fucking puck. And he goes, no, I shoot. So everyone on the team can do Kirill voice.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I shoot.
No, I shoot. I was doing that line with my wife. No, I shoot. Hey, really quick, anatomy of a green light, so the team plays Nashville tonight. They don't play until Friday in St. Louis. They're staying on the road, as Hartman told us. So the green light is after tonight's game?
Yeah. Yes. So the Wild went from Washington to Nashville, but you have a game. So when was that? Sunday's game. They had Monday off, which they golfed. And then Tuesday, the game. No, that's not a green light.
Golfed in Nashville yesterday?
Yes.
Okay.
And that one is not a green light.
That's a really bright green light when it's a Tuesday game and you don't play till Friday.
The greenest of green lights are when you stay over in the same city, which is very rare. And then you have multiple days between games. So you're all on the road. You very rarely have like a good green light at home.
That's that you could get your stomach pumped and still be fine by Friday.
Right.
Wow.
Right. So green lights, they don't happen at home very often because everybody's different. The NHL is different in this regard too, that you have guys that will be 18 years old and guys that will be 40 years old, like guys with like teenage kids and kids that they need to be home with and guys that have got nothing to do. So it's not like a full team green light. You get those when you're on the road.
Wow, this is amazing. So, okay, you're in Nashville. You have a green light, a bright green light.
It's the greenest, locked on green.
Okay, you get to bring 3 guys with you for the night, and or 5 guys with you. Who are you going out with? Nashville, the brightest of green lights.
Well, I tell you what, 3 guys.
For first, it's like a shootout. Who's your first 3 shooters? And then if you have 5 shooters for the green light. Okay.
So
I want to see how similar our lists are.
Well, I'm going to pretend right now that I'm Trevor Zegras, and my green light's going to be Delorier, Middleton, and Marcus Foligno, right?
Is that really your answer?
If I was Trevor Zegras.
Okay. No.
So are we talking just of the Wild players?
I'm talking, I'm going to go out and party. Who do I want with me from the Wild?
Okay. From the Wild.
To go deep into the Nashville night.
Because it's Masters week, and I kind of was thinking Tiger Woods, but we're talking
deep into the Nashville night. You're on the trip. We've just beat Nashville, hopefully tonight, and you just have the brightest of green light. You're headed to the stage. You're headed to Santa's pub. You're maybe going to go to someone's hotel room afterwards. Mm-hmm. Roll dice. I don't know what these guys do. So, who are you bringing in your 3, and who are you bringing in your 5? Just like a shootout.
Dumba.
Okay.
Brodin.
Yeah.
I think Hartman would be there.
Okay, those are your 3. Now, if you have to extend to 5, who are you bringing?
So there's so much that you'd love to see from Kirill, and that's just like knowing the unknown.
You put him in the 5er.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, when are you gonna switch over to Wadka? Like just like the timing, the like how it's gonna all go for him.
Yeah. He's like a weekend at Bernie's. Like it changes everything.
So I said Dumba, Brodin, Hartman.
Kirill is 4th, and you need one more to round out 5.
This is hard because I played with some of these guys, so I want those guys there because I know them.
That's okay.
Yeah, and so it'd be Spurgeon.
Okay. So my top 3.
Wow, now it might be Flower. I don't know Flower, so I'd want to.
So I go Hartman, Greener, Zuki with a bullet. Not even close. Those are guys we're gonna light our chest hair on fire. Those three. And then when I round out to 5, I agree with you. Kirill becomes in the group of 5 because it's like when you put Elvis in a movie, it becomes an Elvis movie. Just having Kirill there is like a whole different night.
Don't you also kind of feel like it'd be like bringing your brother out for his 21st birthday?
It would.
But when he's 20?
Yes.
Like you're going to teach him?
Yeah.
Like this is kind of how it works, but I kind of want to see how you handle it.
Or even just like watching, like Kirill watching line dancing or like running into a bachelorette party. Totally. I also, my 5th is Jost. I think he's greasy. I think you'd have some fun with him. I think he'd steal some drinks from the hotel pantry when you got back. He's got North Dakota in there. I think he's real greasy. That's my 5.
I like it.
Hartman, Greener, Zuki, Jost, and Kirill line dancing.
I tried to build my 3 with like a whiskey guy, a beer guy,
and a milk guy.
Yeah.
Brodine's the milk guy.
Yeah, Brodine's probably like a vodka cranberry, maybe with a splash of orange juice guy. But he's just that's a good energy with Dumba, Brodine.
I miss Dumba.
You missed that one hard.
That hurts me, but I think you missed Greener and Zuki.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I've hung out with Greener. I know what Greener's about. He should be in my 5. He probably should.
He's a professional.
Well, he's a beer guy.
Yeah. What is Zuki like if he gets a green light, you think?
No idea. Manhattan. He seems like a Manhattan kind of guy. Maybe both the drink and the city.
Okay. Well, I feel good about my list. I don't need it to be the same as yours.
But it's a green light. It's a green light tonight in Nashville. What did Hartman say the hot spots were?
He loves the stage.
Yeah.
In a place called Santa's Pub.
Yeah.
Late night. Do you think anyone's drinking water on the green light?
Well, I tell you what, they're
like
going to need
clean water.
What they're going to need the following day, or another thing that they could probably mix in there is good, clean, quality ice.
Yeah.
Right. In order to have that, you need a good filtration system, both in your refrigerator, but probably in your basement too. Water softeners. So if you're talking about water softeners, I know a great spot, and I could maybe introduce you to Aquarius Home Services. They earn the right to be recommended.
But when they come to my house, is it just going to be like 2 chucks in a truck, just like trampling through my home and like dirty and like, is it going to be like that?
No, first of all, you'll know when they're coming because they'll send you a text message and they'll say, "Hey, my name is Derek. I'm your tech. I'll be at your home in 30 minutes. Does that still work for you in terms of timing?" You respond, "Yes." They say, "Great." 30 minutes later, they show up. They say, "Hi, I'm Derek. I'm here to fix your water treatment or your plumbing or anything in your utility room. I've got it for you." And they put the booties on. The first thing they show you is respect for you and your home, and then they get to work. What do you think about that?
I like it. And then fresher, cleaner water and ice.
Well, that's what I use with Aquarius is more often than not is the water. Yeah, absolutely. They've got the water softener. I've got the K5, the RO system. So I've got the water right on tap there at the kitchen sink. Family loves that stuff. We can't go anywhere near the faucet now. We're spoiled with the RO stuff. But if you have other issues in your house, like I've got plumbing issues now. I've got a leaky shower. I tried to fix it. I botched it. Leave it to the pros. Call Aquarius Home Services. They've got you covered. They've got plumbers. They've got electricians. They've got HVAC guys. Whatever you need, call them. Leave it to the experts at Aquarius Home Services.
Nicely done. Good job. All right. I was involved in that too. Primary assist. Okay. I've noticed something about this team. This is a team that responds to stimulus. Okay.
Ooh. Like
when we introduce a new element, they tend to go on a run. So the classic example of this is if you bet on a team that just fired their coach, right? So somebody fires their coach, you bet on them. They usually win 7 out of 10. Horse racing, first time LASIK, okay, this horse has got this new drug. They start running fast. We saw this with Boldy coming into the lineup. We saw it with the trade deadline with all the new guys. I think we need to manage for this the rest of the way. Maybe Rossi. He's a point-a-game guy. It seems like he's marinating down in the A, just like Boldy was. Seems like he's about to pop out of the toaster for us. He might give us another week or two heater. The goalies, I think, are both playing well, and we can maybe play them off each other to give the team that little
Boost.
adjustment. Yeah, like maybe Talbot starts, wins a bunch, maybe has a little bumpy spot. We switch to Flower. We got the Flower energy. I think this is a team that needs stimulus.
Every once in a while, you've got to throw an Adderall in there and stimulate yourself a little bit.
Chop it up and snort it.
Maybe sometimes you got to snort it a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's go through the stimulants so far this year that have worked. We talked about it. It was Boldy.
Yep.
For sure, Boldy. I think the trade deadline has been one. Fleury has been one.
Yep.
So there are times when the Wild are struggling and they just give a shot to the arm. And you think the next ones...
And line combinations, too.
Yeah.
So finding Foligno, the grief line, I think it's all that stuff.
How about the way that Evason has managed the defensive core lately? So Goligoski gets a couple of games off. Super weird. I almost couldn't believe this. He gets healthy scratched.
And he's got the most points, right? Or he's close to Spurgeon.
Yeah. And then ±2. Healthy scratched. Not just 1 game, 2 games. Don't know why he doesn't get in there. I think he's getting 1 game off. Don't know. Doesn't make sense. But in the middle of that, signs a 2-year extension.
Did he get healthy scratch the day the Gophers were playing in the NCAAs?
I'm not sure.
Was it against Colorado?
Are you saying that he just wanted to stay home and watch it?
Maybe they let him stay home and watch it.
That's possible. But I think that illustrates something about this club, too.
Yeah.
In communication, he's not upset that he's not playing. And however it's communicated to him that, hey, we're 36, 7 years old. We just want to give you a little extra rest. We're going to sit you down, not for 1 game, maybe for 2, just depends. And, oh, yeah, by the way, we've got a new contract, and here, would you like to sign it? Yes, sign me up. Like, kind of amazing. But at the same time, Goligoski comes back from this, and he was great. Great in Washington, great in Carolina. So the rest actually works. Like the way that Evason and the staff, and I think Billy's on board with this too, that they pull the strings, it's working. And that's another stimulant. Like Goligoski out of the lineup. Oh my gosh, veteran, like best player on our blue line, healthy scratch. What's going on? And then boom, stimulant.
Yeah.
And then it's back, right?
So I think you can really, and because he's built this culture of teammates, I think you can move pieces around and it gives energy.
Right. And
change a line, add a guy to the lineup, give a guy a night off.
The other thing that's amazing is none of these moves, I can't think of many moves that have taken energy away from the club. So like, I think the goalie situation that you talk about, I think it's going to be very hard, like a very challenging task to tap dance through that management for Evason or Billy, whomever it is. The goalies are both rolling good. They both probably have the number one mentality in their mind, like I'm the right guy for the job. And that's how it's going to go. How do you manage it? Like right now we haven't seen it to where it's been detrimental in any regard. I know it's still young and very early, but how do you keep both guys happy and both guys pulling and going in the same direction? If their games are going well and they're playing well, it seems that you'd have to ride that guy, right? And if you're not going to ride him, then you just stick with a straight rotation. How do you keep those guys sharp? I don't know. It's going to be tough, but I can't think of many moves that they've made that have taken energy from the club. And this is another example where it hasn't, certainly has not. It's given the club life, but I think it's a tough one going forward.
The thing that hurts the club seems to be, I think Zuccarello not being on that top line is it's the worst thing that can happen to the Wild, because they don't want to break up Boldy and Fiala. Carell's kind of up there by himself swimming around. That's the one I noticed. When Foligno was on that top line, it just looked so messed up.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I've noticed. If he's out of the lineup, it really messes up our lineup. It changes the grief line. I don't know if that makes him the MVP or what, but that is the one piece that's a real problem.
But I think in terms of management and coaching, that's not something that they did on purpose.
No.
That's out of necessity.
Absolutely.
They had to. So they haven't had to make any of these decisions with a full slate of people, and they've said, okay, let's move Zuki off here. Let's do that. So I think that's a different scenario.
On the goalie thing, it feels like for the fan base that Talbot is becoming the starting goalie. But my sense is Billy brought Flower here to be the starting goalie.
And so
that's the thing running headlong into each other, because
yes,
they're either going to have to start changing the games that Flower plays, because right now he feels like here's an easier game, you win, you get Flowers, everyone loves you, you're the fan favorite, you're Tim Tebow. And Talbot's been in these little bit hotter spots, and he's been playing out of his mind since the trade deadline. But I think Billy thinks that Flower is the guy that wins us the cup. So, that's my sense, just because he did it with him and he traded for him. It was a big move.
Right. And I'm with you. And I think part of the reason Flower's here is because of the struggle that Talbot had in the middle portion of the season.
Which he for sure did.
Yeah. If he was playing like he is now throughout that stretch, I don't think that there's that huge desire or need to go out and grab Marc-Andre Fleury. So there's always that doubt in the mind, and you've got like a number one in the waiting. That's where it's like it's not a competition. And this is why it's so hard, I think, for them to manage. It's not a competition of who's playing better. It's waiting until Talbot fails and then put Marc-Andre Fleury in. It's like this self-fulfilling prophecy. It's eventually going to happen.
Yep.
And that's why it's tough. And I don't know the mentality of Billy or Evison or any of these guys, right? But it does feel like you go out and get Marc-Andre Fleury, not to sit there and back up and cheerlead in the playoffs.
But based on everything we've seen so far, I think what Billy would do is, I think the team would say Talbot's our goalie right now, starting goalie.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would give him the net. If he has problems, it goes to Flower until Flower has problems. Kind of to your point on Goose, I think they can they're pretty they got great chemistry and they're sort of all in together. I think you might be, you like to say if you got two goalies, you don't have one. But I do think this might be a rare instance where you have a culture that can kind of have a tandem help you win the cup.
And I think there can be a tandem. I just think it's very hard to be hitting on all cylinders and making those decisions. Think of daily fantasy, right? Would you rather have, and let's go fantasy football, right? Would you rather have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, or do you want to have the streamer? On any given week, there's going to be a streamer that is going to beat Aaron Rodgers, but you have to pick them, and you have to pick the right guy on the right game and the right matchup and the right thing all of the time. When you have two goalies, you almost have to have it be that way, where you're trying to pick the right one, the right streamer. How am I doing this? How am I managing this? And eventually, I think it becomes too hard, and it becomes luxurious to just say, man, I wish I had Aaron Rodgers and I could just set it and forget it, right? And that's not apples to apples, certainly that analogy, but yeah, I think we've covered this one.
Well, by that math, then, before the playoffs, these next few weeks, there's going to be something that makes Flower the guy before the playoffs start.
Yeah, and who knows? But yeah, I think so. All right, I got one for you. So the Wild just also set a franchise record for most 20-goal scorers.
Yes.
They have how many?
Six
in the previous record.
I think I knew them. I saw it on the screen. I think it's
hold on. I need this. I've got a little game for you. 20,
okay, good. Yeah. I might be able to win this.
You might be able to win this game. But you got to get the guys right. So I've got to. Okay,
I think I know them all. Yeah.
So
if I don't,
I had
really
this thought: 20-goal scorers. It's like the 20 sack pyramid. Do you remember the old record, Dr. Dre 2001, Chronic 2001?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember that specific thing.
No, but there was a track on there.
It was like a skit in between, like
20 sack pyramid, and they had like a little game show. And this was part of the track.
Okay.
And then the winner of the game show got like a 20 sack bag of Endo and a $35 gift card.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do right now. All right. It's a 20 sack pyramid. The Wild have 6 20-goal scorers.
Am I going to get Endo?
I'm going to give you, if you want to get paid in Endo, sure.
I can't even find command strips at Target. I don't think I could find it.
If you're looking at Target for Endo, that's why you can't find it.
It would be on an end cap, wouldn't it?
Yeah. We'll have to check the SKUs.
Or in the pharmacy. So, okay. So how do I play?
All right. So I've got 4 clues for each individual.
Of the 6?
Yes.
Okay.
And you've got to guess which one it is.
Okay. This makes it harder because I need to know this. I don't need to just know they scored 20 goals. I need to know your thing about them.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
All right, we ready?
Yeah.
All right. So first one, these are the clues. Clue number 1, Jackson, Maine. Clue 2, second in shooting percentage behind, man, this is crazy, Rem Pitlick in the NHL. Clue 3, country on the aux cord. Clue 4, family is known for their vertical.
They're vertical. Oh, Jackson, Maine. Country music. A lot of country music here. Family is known for their vertical. This is not Kirill. Jackson, Maine. Which was fuck, man. I gotta say that's Hartman because of Nashville and country music and stuff.
That one's Foligno.
Okay, well he's got
Jackson, Maine is who he kind of looks like.
Okay,
if you follow Wild content, that's been out there before. Second in NHL shooting percentage.
Okay, that one I should have known. I'm not an analyst.
Country on the aux cord. I sat down with Matt Dumba. If you consumed Posted Up, which turns out maybe you don't.
Yeah, there's a lot of content out there.
Foligno brings country on the aux cord.
Okay.
I know you're a big aux cord guy.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
I'm kind of surprised. And his family's known for vertical. You know his dad, Mike Foligno?
He's also tall.
Goal celebration was to jump. He'd jump in the air. And then when the Foligno brothers both scored their first NHL goal,
all right,
they did their father lead.
Keep going.
Oh, man, you stink. All right, next one. 10 power play goals.
Mm-hmm.
He targets pickerel. Specialty is chili. And a face that longs to be punched.
Erikssonek.
Boom. Next one. No excuses for being late. Loves chocolate. Will retire into daytime soap opera TV. Oil of Olay.
Fiala.
All right, next one. Sitting at 496 career points. Besties with a king.
Zuccarello.
Described as a reptile. Zuki. All right, next one. 6-game goal scoring streak. 24 multi-point games this year. Loves Golden Lights. And a fan of borscht.
Kirill.
Boom.
And Hartman.
Recorded 26 points in 85 games with the Preds. Career high goals, assists, points, plus minus, game-winning goals, power play assists, power play points, and shots on goal this year. Really dislikes Chevy, and he's a Bud Light guy.
Do you feel like you rigged the game a little bit that Foligno was the hardest?
No.
Oh, I think so. I wish I got that. Hey, so let's play another game.
That's 20 sack pyramid right there. What'd you think?
I thought it was fun. I think we should do that. I think this could become our initials game. Like our ratings are going to soar. There's probably a sponsor out there trying to, and maybe my phone's ringing right now. And let's see how this goes. Cards with cards. Okay. Now we finally have this year's cards. Okay. So we can be way more superstitious now.
Okay.
If we get a wild player, this player is going on a heater. Because you're only opening 24 players, and there's 32 teams in the NHL. It's not even, you may not even get a wild guy. And then if there's a story in there, we take a story too.
Sounds good. Who do you want to go on a heater for the Wild right now? If I could pull anybody, it might be Bugey, friend of the podcast.
Yeah, he's such a good guy.
I know.
He's so nice.
It's easy to root for.
I don't know.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
Anthony Cirelli. I do see some green on here. Artemi Panarin.
Okay.
Josh Bailey. Oh, we got a rookie.
A young gun. Ooh, wow. Jake Ottinger.
Ottinger.
Nice. That's worth something.
Wow, this card looks fancy. We got a Dazzler.
Ooh.
Sidney Crosby, the Dazzler. Alex Nedeljkovic, Jakub Slavin, and Adrian Kempe. No wild guys. What's the deal with that? How many of these I have to rip through?
I know. So another pro tip, if you look on the back, if you see a different color pattern on the back, you'll know you have a young gun.
Oh, all right.
That's what the Seasons Pro do.
Almost got a Jost. We got JT Comfer.
Okay.
Chris Tierney. Oh, my. Heater. We got one.
Good.
We got
Set
one.
him aside. Set him aside. Keep going.
We got a heater. Radom. I don't even know who that is. So Horna. Nicholas Jalmerson. Charlie McAvoy. Jake Gensel, another Minnesota guy. Kevin Hayes.
Okay, last one.
All right. We're down to the nitty gritty here. Last couple. Cards with cards.
Don't be afraid to pull a Zegras here for $100.
Kevin LeBlanc. Dominic Kubalik, Zach Wierenski. A lot of good players, just not a lot of wild love. Ooh, canvas card, Brock Besser, Burnsville native.
Yep, that's right.
That's nice. Brody, Justin Hall, Jeff Carter.
Nice. He's got good hair,
The
too.
best for last.
He's the best Carter ever to play.
Jeff
maybe?
Carter. All right, so we pull one wild guy and it goes on a heater.
Who is he?
The guy that
Does
would,
it burn in your hand?
the guy that would save Trevor Zegras, the guy that we've talked about.
It's 44?
44. Delorier.
Wow.
So Delorier is going to go on a heater.
Okay, what
that-
does a heater mean for him, though?
Well, I
we
don't
got
know.
to set this into
He
context.
said he's got no skill set, but the guy seems to be playing with the puck all right. I think he leads the Wild in shorthanded goals with 1.
Most points he's ever had is
I know he didn't get that in the
15?
Wild sweater, but
15.
I will say if he goes on a heater, that's a good thing. So in the playoffs, more often than not, your top 2 lines kind of offset themselves. And it comes down to special teams and your 3rd and 4th line. If you can win that 3rd, 4th line matchup, plus 2-3 on the series, man, it makes all the difference in the world. And a lot of times it comes down to that. You think of some of the huge goals that have been scored, like Claude Lemieux,
Yep.
those kinds of guys. Those are the guys that win cups.
I like that. That's kind of cool that it was him that came through.
Yeah.
He found his way to us. He left Trevor to die. Oh, man. Poor Trevor. Hey, on the bright side for American hockey, I was looking at this. Top 10 point scorers, top 10 goal scorers. Over half American on both lists. Whether it's DeBrincat, Matthews, Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk. We are loaded in USA hockey right now with top talent.
And how many of those guys are Minnesota?
They're not from Minnesota.
But they're coming. This is okay.
But Kirill's on that list, and he plays for the Wild.
He plays for the Wild. And I do wholeheartedly believe that now that Minnesotans have their star, their idol, their guy to look up to, their game to emulate, Minnesota will produce a star. So I'm going to say...
So you're saying because of Kirill,
yes,
and we've opened this new, we're actually looking at what great hockey looks like.
There is the player that will motivate players to be great.
Wow. When do you expect the great Minnesotan to arrive?
Good question. I would say 8 years.
Okay. So it's currently,
Within
2030.
Within the next 8 years, yeah.
NHL shop, best player on a team is from Minnesota.
Yeah.
And
I'll
he's
say
a dominant player.
In 10 years from today, you will have a player that is a first team NHL All-Star. So like the top 5 player in the league.
Yep. From Minnesota.
From Minnesota.
Thank you, Kirill.
Yeah. And it'll be Kirill.
Just another thing that he's given us. What a special guy. What else do you got for me? You want to talk college hockey at some point?
Since we pulled Delorier and he's on a heater, I thought I would transition into this because he's really into protection and he protects players. He's no longer protecting the little beautiful baby that you love, Trevor Zegras. Now he's protecting people on the Wild bench. And if you need some protection, maybe in terms of liability, I've got a guy for you, the hockey agent, Andy Hedlund. We've talked about it. He's a hockey player, former Maverick, big matchup. I talked to him. He's going to be tuning into this weekend's game and Thursday's game between Mankato and the University of Minnesota. Has to watch by himself. A little intense in that regard.
Yep.
Hockey dad, hockey coach, state runner-up. What a resume he might have. State runner-up at the state high school hockey tournament. National champion, alumni. It's going to be great. But he's the hockey agent. If you find yourself in a salary cap situation too, where your rates go up and you're over the cap a little bit, call Andy Hedlund. He can get you under the cap. No reason to have to chase these extra fees or these extra costs in your insurance bill. The hockey agent, Andy Hedlund, 763-537-4949. He's got you covered like Nick Delorier has Trevor. The Wild covered.
Oh, poor Trevor. He might have to be a healthy scratch for the rest of the year. We got to talk about our bet. We've designed this. You're wearing a Mavericks shirt today.
I'm not even flexing, but I am now.
So Minnesota State Mavericks, made famous by the TV show Coach.
Yeah, I remember Coach. That was a good show.
And then the pride of the state, the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers, Pride on Ice. the big brother. So we talked about our bet. They play each other the late game on Thursday. I'm going to be in Boston. I'll be watching. What I've offered up to you, if your Mavericks will beat my Gophers, I think a group of, call it 10, will go to the Maverick movie with Tom Cruise. It's coming out Memorial Day weekend. The trailers look great. Popcorn, maybe some Juji fruits. Is that what they're called? Juji fruits?
I don't know. Do you put that in the popcorn?
I don't like how I said that. And we're gonna go to this movie. It's gonna be great. I think Goose's son is in the movie. He also has a mustache. I don't think he dies. If he dies, it'd be hilarious if Goose's son, like if Maverick kills Goose's son too. Yeah, you have the need for speed, full scholarship. If you want to get peanut M&Ms, if you want to get a Slurpee, you bring the girls, bring the wife, bring some buddies from Mankato. 10-person screening of Maverick.
And it'd be so great if it was just Mavericks too, just the alumni group, just
bring in some Mavericks.
Just all Mav alumni watching Mavericks, and you've got to sit there. I'm
going to go too because I'm pretty excited about the movie as well.
Okay, so you're going to be there.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I won't sit near you guys.
You'll have to wear like a Gopher suit. Maybe like we'll see if we can't get like a mascot hat.
No, let's not try to change the bet. We already have the bet established.
All right, I offered up because I can't think of anything of Gopher correlation that makes a ton of sense. I thought I'd have a private screening of Caddyshack at my house, and we could all just, eat and drink and fine wine, whatever you want on my dime. But you turned that down in a hurry. I then offered up Coney Islands from the Gopher Bar all day, everybody you want. No dice on that. But you will take me up on a round of golf.
That's my preferred winning item.
So you get
at Gem Lake even is fine.
Okay. You get golf scholarship to Gem Lake Hills National.
Yep.
2 tee times. How about that?
Yeah.
2 tee times, carts, whole 9 yards.
Wow.
Yeah.
Carts meaning you?
That too.
Okay.
Maybe I'll carry your bag.
You're going to have the 8-iron?
I'll carry your bag.
So I could be at Gem Lake Hills National. Is it Gem Lake Hills National? I love that they added the national. The logo's the diamond.
Yeah.
There's not a single tee box that's flat. So Gem Lake Hills, 2 foursomes at the Muni, that's great. Or
private screening.
Or Maverick, full salute, you've got the need for speed. You bring your wingman from Mankato. That's a great bet.
That is a good bet.
All right. Good luck to you.
Good luck
Thursday
to you
night.
Go from there. Give me 2 reasons why you think the Gophers will win.
So we're doing a thing on Pull Tab Sports with Everything College Hockey. I think you maybe talked to those guys yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The thing we're doing is every college team's win song. So the song they play after they win. Your team's win song is Hey Baby by DJ Otzi. Hey Baby. It's actually pretty good. Do you want me to play a little bit of it?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. So fill some time for me while I pull this up. But
I'll give you the reasons why I think Mankato's going to win. Maybe they do want to hear that song a little bit, but they've got Dryden McKay, and the guy probably deserves a clean sweep Heisman Richter Award. He set I think he's got the wins record, NCAA wins record. He's got the career shutout record.
You think he should be Hobie and Richter?
Yeah, what did I say?
Heisman.
Sorry.
That's okay though. While you're talking, hold on.
There you go.
Pretty great win song.
Yeah, you can get behind that.
So that's strong. That didn't make me feel good when I found out that was their win song. But here's an interesting choice. Do you know what the win song is for Minnesota?
No.
Surprising choice. There's probably going to be an ad that runs on here. Yeah, there is. So they chose.
Gosh, upgrade.
What, you have no ads on YouTube?
You can pay.
So this is.
Oh, wow. Green Day.
No. So it's closing time.
Closing time.
Which is a pretty awesome song when you're at the stretch drive of the season. Minnesota band.
This is so good, and it's playing right into the Mavericks' hands.
Why?
Because after they meet, it's going to be closing time for the Gophers and their season. Let's wrap this up. It's closing time. We ran into a juggernaut, Minnesota State.
Do you want me to show you what it's going to look like?
You didn't like that.
Here's the deal. You got a great goalie. But we're going to score 2 goals and you can't score 3. Okay. So, Matthew Nyes, his neck is as big as my thigh. He's an NHLer. He's ready to go. Ben Myers is going to end up on the Wild. These guys are going to get it done. Sammy Walker might even score a goal somehow. And we're going to get 3 and then we win. Our guys will be able to score against your goaltender.
Okay.
And then we win.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dryden McKay.
You've won 16 in a row, I think, by the way.
16 in a row.
No adversity whatsoever.
You know what else? So back to this was, again, I was reminded of why we have to do this podcast. I had some alumni all nervous because the Mavericks had won 16 in a row, and only in Minnesota are we like, oh my gosh, I wish they would have won one or lost one in the conference tournament to reset that so they're not feeling so good about themselves.
Yeah.
Why can't you just celebrate the fact that they're on a 16-game run, and why would it end, right? Why would it end? They've got 2 more. It's going to end on 18. It's no big deal.
First goal's pretty big in hockey, man. It's almost like although Minnesota's has proven this season that they can handle being from, chasing it. But I don't know. I think
they've never played Mankato.
Not this year. You knocked us out of the playoffs last year in the tournament.
Right. And Minnesota's got some experience now. I think Mankato's got a lot more. And I think you mentioned it, the first goal can be
pretty important.
It can be a big goal, right? But I think experience really matters in these games. And Mankato, Minnesota State, they've got experience now. They have a culture. They have a mentality. There isn't that doubt where they're thinking, okay, what if? They were the team like White Bear Lake in the Minnesota State high school hockey tournament where they had lost 19 of the first games in a row. They can't make it to the Friday game. So I kind of had that dark cloud following me around. Can't win the first one in the state high school tournament. Can't win the first one college and the regional tournament. But they've broken that mold and they're ready to go. Frozen Four, second year in a row. So I think that all the momentum is with Mankato.
We'll see. It's going to be a good game. I love that it's the night game. And then I think maybe Michigan comes through.
The only thing that's brutal about it is it was ESPN2 and they moved it to ESPNU, but Michigan still stays on ESPN2.
Oh, really? So we're literally the B-side of the semifinals?
Right.
Oh, closing time.
Yeah.
I give them credit. Both teams, kind of weird songs, fun songs. I think they're both pretty cool in the room compared to the list I saw from some of the other teams.
Well, Saturday night, let's say the Gophers win. What are you going to celebrate sipping on?
I'd probably arrange for someone to bring some Bigwood beer from Minnesota out to me. You can buy 4-packs at your local liquor store. If you like a hoppy beer, if you like a real beer, if you're one of these people, life's too short to drink bad beer, Bigwood's your friend. Bad Axe, Jack Savage, Amigo Grande. My favorite this time of year, Cabin Days. That's your sessionable beer from Bigwood. Grab a 4-pack as big as a malt cup, and that's Bigwood. Bigwood.
All right. Well, I hope there's a chance that I crush a couple Bigwoods. I won't be sipping on it if Mankato wins it all. But I want to end this with a couple of stats from
Stat Pack with Ryan Carter.
Yeah, just a couple of stats.
Yeah, bring it. Show us. You're an analyst.
Just why the Wild stats are more for the play-by-play guy. The analyst likes to talk why the stats that way.
Oh, it's more color.
Yeah. So the stats are LaPanta's wheelhouse is stats. The color guy says why the stats are that way.
He's analytics, and you're the manalytics.
Yeah. Okay. The analyst is how and why.
Okay.
The play-by-play guy is what.
Okay. So do you want me to read the stats to you and then you tell me how and why?
No, I'm just going to use the stats right now. And
All right.
you tell me if they're impressive to you or not.
Okay.
So the Wild are great, and they have been great. And part of it is because they've absolutely dominated the Eastern Conference this year. They're 22-5, 22-5-4 versus the East, 14-0-2 versus the Metro. So, I mean, that's Boston, Rangers, like good clubs out there. And the Islanders, you go on, the Metro's good.
So if we were to get to the Stanley Cup final, not finals, it's just called final, I think, we would just win automatically.
I think it's an auto win. Like I'm saying, like you get to the finals, the East, all of a sudden a team's...
Final. I think it's just final. Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, but okay.
I think that's what they call it.
If you get to the final. Sure. Have you been there?
No. It's like the second cut at Augusta. Have you been there?
Twice.
Okay, so go ahead. They get to the...
You expect one of these teams out East to beat the Wild 4 games in 7 when they've played 30 and lost 5?
No. I think so. At that point,
it's over.
You get real serious about the parade.
Yeah, you plan the parade.
And we think about where we do the pod from.
Right.
Okay, so we just need, so it's 12 W's we're after.
Right.
Because it's an auto when you get there.
Right. You get to the East, it's just
auto.
Cash checks.
The East is the least.
Yeah.
Okay,
Boom.
cool.
So
that's it. That's relevant.
They've dominated the East. It's actually pretty remarkable how good they've been against the East. They've struggled a little bit with the Atlantic, down there, Florida, Tampa. I mean, they just played Carolina obviously really well, but that one was a little tougher for them, but 14-0-2 versus the Metro, that's crazy. That's it,
okay.
Like they are just crushing it. Okay, the next thing, Wild 5th in the NHL in first period goals. So they've been able to get off to great starts and putting the puck in the net.
Huge in the playoffs.
Yeah, and you just touched on it.
Huge.
First goal is huge.
Huge.
They are 26-1-1 when leading after the first period.
Dear Lord.
When they get out to a lead, teams cannot catch up to them. They can just shut it right down. 28-0-2 when leading after 2 periods.
Oh.
They have not lost a game when they go into the third with a second or with a lead.
Wow. Okay, good. Let's keep scoring first.
Right. So there's a couple of things as to how and why the Wild, I think, have gotten to be so good and where they've accumulated their points and made separation. It's a couple of those things. The last one for me that I would probably illustrate is how good they've been in the overtime session. So I think they're sitting at 91 points right now. They were 7-1 in OT 3-on-3. And it wasn't that long ago. It's the Boudreau era where it was the exact opposite of the way it is now, where the Wild would be 1-7 in OT. It was, all right, we get to the extra session and it was 30 seconds and the game's over.
Because we had nothing dynamic and nothing exciting.
Yeah, and they didn't play with speed. They didn't do certain things. They had guys that they'd put out that maybe weren't best for it. But Evison has found the recipe and it's really worked. 7-1 this year. Without those extra points, without those 6-7 extra points, the Wild are sitting at 84, 80, 85 points in a wild card spot. So they go from having home ice in the first round under probably the old Wild 3-on-3 overtime to now they've got home ice. It looks like it doesn't matter who they play that first round, right? But instead of having to play Colorado or Calgary in that situation, you get St. Louis or Nashville with home ice. So it makes a huge difference, that extra point in OT.
Do you think, even though it's a 3-on-3 format during the regular season, do you think we also get... Is that a tell for the playoffs? A lot of these games go to the playoffs. They go to the overtime in the playoffs. Are we good at overtime or are we just good at 3-on-3 overtime?
I think we're good at 3-on-3 overtime. Okay. But I do think if you look at the 6-on-5 situation, the closer and tighter that games get, the Wild seem to get better and better. And we touched on it earlier, they're better with stimulus and OT, like a little extra shot in the arm, like winner takes all, little stimulus. I think that they are the better club when it gets right down to the nitty gritty. Final couple minutes of a game really matters. They can both shut it right down, but they can also put the puck in the back of the net. OT 5-on-5, golden goal kind of game situation. I think the Wild are probably the better club 90-something% of the time. That's obviously pure speculation, but they've shown over the course of the year that they're good in those spots.
kind of got the chills there. I feel like all this stuff is like we got a playoff pack, like a little playoff backpack, and we're ready. A lot of the stuff we're talking about is really good for the postseason.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at it, you can't analyze this stuff, I think, in 4 or 5 game segments. But when you look at the entire thing, and they're sitting at 65, 70 games right now, they've got a body of work that you can look at and say what we're good at and how does this compare to somebody else. And I think that's what 7-game series are. It's a body of work, and can you be better over that period of time? And a lot of things are in the Wild's favor.
Damn.
Boom.
I already bet on them to win the cup, so that's good.
All right, that's all I got, my man.
Strong effort. I'm sorry about Target, that made you. Where'd you go? You didn't go to Target. You went somewhere else?
Oh, I went to, I don't remember the name of the
hardware store?
No, it's CVS.
Okay. I'm sorry. Also, I don't know why you were sweating so much. It's just a quick trip.
Well, it's hustle. Like
CVS.
I said, I had to hustle. I don't like to be late to things. And I came in here, you're sipping on coffee, legs crossed, throwing your fingers through your hair, and I'm sweating running here to try to get here on time.
It's okay.
We're here.
Till it's here.